Hey, welcome back to our podcast, your go-to source for all things real estate and lifestyle in the heart of Fort Worth, Texas. I'm Jackson Christian Berry.
And I'm Jean Kristen Berry.
And together, we're here to guide you through the vibrant world of Fort Worth and surrounding suburb living.
We believe in creating a community where everyone feels at home. And that's why we're committed to bringing you honest, expert advice in a fun and friendly way. From the bustling streets of downtown to the serene suburbs, we've got the scoop on what makes each area unique.
Each week, we'll dive into the latest market trends, offer tips for both buyers and sellers, and share insider knowledge to help you make informed decisions. So whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or just curious about some of the Fort Worth charming neighborhoods, you're in the right place. Let's jump into today's episode. Well, hey everybody, and welcome back to Welcome Home Fort Worth. We're excited that you joined us this week yet again for another fun episode, another interview episode, which are so fun to do. Just so you know, I think you guys can probably see these metrics online, but y'all love these interviews. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, these are the ones that consistently get watched and listened to more than any of the other ones. So it's fun to do because we learn a lot with these episodes. So we're really enjoying them. Today, I think we're talking about a very trendy real estate thing.
Yes, we are.
We're talking about very when you think about real estate, especially like Netflix, selling Sunset, things like that, right? You think real estate and interior design. And so today we're jumping into a lot of that. So Bob, you want to jump in and introduce our guest and get things going?
Let's do it. We have a professional here today. So this is Jan Darnell. Jan's a dear friend of mine, known you for many years now. So Jan's here to talk to us today about new construction, design trends, what's kind of coming down the pike, and what you can look for in the design world in new construction. So Jan, tell us a little bit, start off and just tell us a little bit about you, kind of how did you get into this? Why do you do this? Tell us some of that.
Started actually at designing at a young age, just at about 15 or 16. Oh, you know how to decorate? Yeah. Will you come help me?
See, okay, but here's the deal. That is such a skill.
It is a skill.
Because I do not possess it. I can see, I can't see paint. I can't see, when my wife is able to do this, I can't see when you put things together on a table and it just looks so, I was like, what? I don't, it's so foreign. So this is just so cool that you can do these things.
Well, you know what? I can do that. Yeah. It's a talent. Yeah, sure. But some of the other things like computer, different things, count me out.
Fair.
But I'm good. I can do that.
Good.
That's awesome.
Well, and you've done all kinds of things. You've done homes. You've done businesses.
Commercial.
Yep.
Boats. You've done boats.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. High rises. Yeah. You know, a penthouse now that we're working on at Trinity Terrace. That's total glass.
Yeah.
So a lot of different designs.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's been your most favorite project you've ever done?
I think probably the most most exciting project is the one I'm doing now.
Really?
Actually, that it's on the 19th floor penthouse. Everything is glass, so you can see all over Fort Worth.
Oh my gosh!
And it's beautiful. And
that would be a challenge.
It is a challenge because it's got to be pretty from every angle.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
So that's probably my
I've never
most
even
exciting.
seen something like that. It'd be so interesting to be in a space like that.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's very fun.
That's my favorite so far.
Yeah, that's very fun. Wow.
Well, so this brings us to, we're talking about new construction specifically because new construction is really popular right now. The builders have a lot of inventory for us right now. There's a lot of custom building going on. So we've got, people that are downsizing or upsizing or lifestyle changing. And by the way, Jan's business is called Lifestyles by Jan. So there's that too.
Nice.
So
that sounds intentional.
Yeah, but would you just talk to us a little bit about what are you seeing with new construction? What's going on?
New construction, first of all, you want it to be personal and you want it to be about you.
Mm-hmm.
So personalize it to what you like, but it's still open concepts are still very important.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard a movement kind of away from that, so it's really interesting.
There's a little bit that goes toward they want the intimate rooms, the spaces that you can convert to different things because, we're not going to go and relive 2020 and beyond again. But all of a sudden, when we hit 2020, then you had you needed to work from home, you needed to school from home, you needed to entertain from home. So now they're wanting those spaces where you can do everything that you need to do from home. I mean, kids need to have that space to work.
Sure.
Intimate rooms are really important,
Yeah.
but they're dividing them up, and you create that just in an area of the openness.
Yeah.
And as far as mud rooms, that type of thing, there's a lot that you can do with that.
Yeah.
That kind of integrates into the next area.
Very cool.
So open's still
Open still in.
Open
Cool.
still-
the moms still want to see their kids.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be involved with what's going on.
In the
You
hub
know,
of the
yeah.
home. Yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Like
Wow.
the living space and the kitchen and all that still.
Well, I think it's also so fun to track what new construction's doing because there's actually, like, when it comes to investors, there's an investment strategy around just finding where Chick-fil-A's pop up.
Oh, yeah.
And you just go buy houses around where and you trust that Chick-fil-A has done their market studies and their trends.
And they know what's coming.
And new construction does the same thing for design trends because they're trending what sells best, what do the majority of people are into. And so I think that's really fun to track these trends. Because I would assume, you got to hope that they're doing these studies for their floor plans and for their design choices along the way. So it's really interesting.
Well, and they kind of, they kind of swing from, we've seen it swing from grays
Oh, yeah.
to browns to grays.
What's
to
in? What's in?
browns, to back and forth.
You know, the grays are still, I mean, if the quartz, the white quartz, which everybody knows, that's still going to be in. But colors are really trending more to the almond colors, the off-whites, deep chocolates. Going back to the, which we'll talk about probably a little bit later, but nature and environmental and bringing the outside in. So greens are very popular. So you're going back rust. So we're going back, as it always makes the trend, just kind of like in clothing. You know, it goes around to the cool colors, then it comes back around to warm and earthy.
Wow.
That's,
How interesting.
That's kind of the swing. Okay, cool to warm.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Wow.
Fascinating. Well, I was just in a new construction home this last week, and the model was all oranges and greens and lots of almond and cream and all that. Yeah. But they had a lot of wood.
Yes.
There was a lot of wood.
Because they're going, the design is back to nature.
Yeah.
So they're doing a lot of the wood. I mean, you'll look at teak is becoming very popular.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
The en-suites in every bedroom.
Yeah.
So every bedroom has its own bath and very much the modern spa look.
Yeah, no, totally.
You know,
That's
less stress.
Yes.
You want to feel that.
That is
I
the
love
thing.
my home. Yeah.
That-
Environmentally functionality.
the new builds I walk into tend to have that very dramatic tub. When you first walk in, it's kind of that statement piece. When
Yes.
you walk in, there's the big tub. Maybe it's clawfoot,
big
maybe it's not,
soaker.
but it's the soaker. And then the shower's behind it. It's like kind of a statement piece in the room. I think that's very interesting.
And you know, they're moving a lot to they call them the water areas.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Where you've got the
wet
tub,
area. Oh
the
my gosh.
wet and
Yes.
water.
This is
and
what
everything is.
I
for
want
the
this in my
same.
next home.
Yes.
I think these are incredible.
And that'll take up a huge space. But I mean, it with the river rock and again, back to nature
And the
and
tub
the
is
teak.
kind of in the shower wet area.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. I mean, that is beautifully done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have fun.
So are you seeing much in the line of like is eco-friendly and all the sustainability stuff? Is that being woven into all this? How's that working?
It is being woven into it, but you know, in a lot of materials, it's like what you already said, where it's the natural look.
Okay.
They want the function. They want the natural and products that are going to be around forever.
Sure.
Oh,
That you
okay.
can get. I mean, not ones that, you know, a lot of times they would go, you're seeing less marble.
Really?
I mean, than, you know, used to, you would have the grand entryways with the marble and all of that. So you're seeing less marble. I mean, going more to the quartz. And granite and stone and all of that. Yeah.
And still wood?
Still wood.
Wood
Very
floors?
much.
Still
Yes.
wood floors?
Very much the wood floors are going to more of, you know, the wood look.
Okay.
Tile is still the wood look tile, very popular because it's water resistant, even though they're making so many of the wooden floors. Water resistant tile is still the wood look tile, still the number one as far as
How
water.
interesting. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I get that for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got dogs, and so that was a no-brainer. You had to do that.
Oh,
with
yeah.
dogs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well,
Are you seeing, it seems like we're seeing more lighter woods from some of the floors in some areas?
It is more of the lighter woods. People are going a lot with just the natural color.
Okay.
Even the blondes. You're seeing, you're seeing less of the gray. Remember that when there was so much of the gray, even light, but the gray colored flooring. It's going more with the blondes, and some are going even as light as some of the off whites. Going more like
flooring,
almond color.
What?
Going super light. So yeah.
Oh
and
my gosh.
Concrete look. The concrete look,
the stained concrete kind of thing. Yeah.
The stained concrete taupey.
Yeah.
The taupeys are still very much in flooring because that way you can gravitate toward any color from the grays to the neutrals and the browns and the whatever.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's so funny to see how things change. Though,
yeah.
So
it does. I mean, it's almost like fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes that circle where the platform shoes, and then all of a sudden it's the stiletto or it's this or it's that. It'll always come back around if you keep your clothing long enough. Same way in same thing in housing and design.
Funny.
Yeah. Light, airy.
Okay. Still.
Yep.
Are you? Does it seem to come from the West Coast?
I think so. I mean, I think the trend. Yes.
Get influenced by all that.
Yeah, I think so because like Texas, of course, we get the hot and the cold, but not. We get extreme hot, and bringing the outside in, which on new builds they do so much of the the glass that the doors will open up and the whole back side of your house will go into the patio or the pool area. So bringing the outside in, and that creates square footage. Also, I mean usable square footage. So that's really really important. They're doing a lot of that.
That's really everybody loves that.
Yeah, well, it's
especially when it's hot, right?
Yes.
Summer, you want to have a little bit of have the view of the water. How about what do you think with texture? Like texture, the metals, or I don't know.
On the metals, on the word you hear the word so often. Sometimes matchy, or people think it has to be matchy. Metals. They're mixing them. I mean, anything from, your aged brass to your polished nickel, just chrome.
In the same room?
In the same room.
Oh, wow.
I just had a new build, and we actually did the polished on the faucets, fixtures, everything.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And then we went with the antique gold on the hardware.
Wow.
And it's really pretty.
They just combine it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And still the some of the black fixtures or the real
black fixtures are still the oil rubbed bronze. Sometimes you don't. It's more of the black now.
Okay.
Instead, but oil rubbed bronze, it's one of those things. It's never going to go out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I mean, it's always going to be around. But yeah. And light fixtures, a lot of times they'll do your hardware and different things, then come out with a gold light fixture. Or black.
I've seen the gold light fixtures. Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah.
Light fixtures are making a difference right now. Bold in lighting.
Wow.
Okay.
That's the bold lighting, the big fixtures.
Yeah, the statements.
The statements, expressive fixtures. They're almost using that as part of what the decor.
Yeah.
I mean, that is make the fixture your decor.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
So if somebody was building a home now, what would you think, or what would you suggest for if you wanted to choose some design trends that were not necessarily going to go out of style so fast? How would you create a home so that it was a little more, I don't know, classic and it lasted?
So, and then you could have if you did that, creating it where you had the classic look with your neutrals. Now it's so much tone on tone, and you ask them to go about texturing, and we'll answer that. But so much tone on tone. A lot of in the new builds, they're going with one color throughout the entire home.
Oh,
and even cabinetry.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a different sheen on your cabinetry. So you've got that oneness and look, and then you do the bold decors, whether it be your lighting, whether it be your backsplash. If you've got then make your backsplash the bold point, and that's easy to change.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Same thing within baths. Create your flooring as a statement.
Mhm.
If you want to change it, it's not a huge area through your home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting.
staying with the basic
Yeah.
design,
Uh-huh.
and then doing
Pops
your
of
pops,
accents. Yeah.
Things-
accent
Yeah.
walls.
Yeah.
You know,
the
different
things that you could
like that.
redo,
Yeah,
that just
easily.
wouldn't take
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
to redo. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great advice.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Cool. So different color metals.
Uh-huh.
Any other texture items that you're noticing?
River rock.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah, sure.
is very popular.
Yeah.
Especially in the bathrooms, they're going a lot with the teak
Mhm.
and the river rock.
Oh yeah, the nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just all the natural, even the plants.
Yeah.
Some of them are going back to. Remember when we used to have the old time atriums?
Yeah,
that
in the
they
middle of
would
the
call
house.
it?
Yeah.
Yes, they're going back to bringing
Solariums.
nature,
Yeah.
the solariums.
Yeah.
Bringing that inside, and it's funny because they make the artificial plants look real.
Uh-huh.
now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
so they're
Yeah.
even intermingling those where they will, you have the real and the artificial, so
Huh.
it always looks
Interesting.
good. Also, Shinrin Yoku, which is a Japanese, I don't know if you've heard of
No.
that, it's called forest bathing. So when you look that up, that's kind of the style of what
Of
people
what that
want.
is.
It's stress-free.
It's spa.
It's nature.
It's very
It's
spa.
spa
Yeah.
feeling. It's calming.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that's that.
Interesting.
Yeah, because if you go out in the forest,
Yeah.
breathe it in, you're going
Uh-huh.
to feel that,
Yeah.
and that's what they're wanting in the homes
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got enough chaos when you out in the world every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Busy,
Yeah.
busy, busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Gosh, yeah.
Hey everyone, real quick before we get back to the show, if you're on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, we'd love to connect with you. We post a lot of content like this in case you miss an episode, along with more Fort Worth and surrounding suburb local insights and finds. You can find our team at the Christenberry Group on all social platforms, or you can connect with Jackson and I personally on our Facebook and our Instagram accounts. Just be prepared for lots of pictures of my grandson on either account. Now back to the show. Wow. And along with that, are you seeing more in new construction, more health kind of things like saunas and, I don't know, special water? I mean, any health
Well,
kind of related stuff?
when you're talking about a lot of them are building, with the air conditioning unit, putting in the purification, air purification systems added to it. A lot of the water systems already, added into the home.
Okay.
So that's one of the things they're doing that's making a difference.
Yeah.
As far as the smart homes
Mhm.
where you can control everything remotely when you're not there. And so that's going to save on energy.
Yeah, of course.
And
Well,
security
yeah, I
and
think
all
that's
of
what I
that.
was gonna
So
say. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, just telling your house what you want it to do.
If it was
Well,
it was so
Not even
easy
having to do that though.
yeah.
A lot of those homes are like
Or sell.
you close that front door and your phone, it registers your phone has left the building,
Yeah.
and so it says, "Oh, let me just do shutdown."
Yeah.
It's wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
based on movement and what's going
Yeah,
on.
just based on like
Oh, yeah.
tracking. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
wild.
it is. It's amazing. It's kind of like the Life 360 where it
Yes.
follows you around.
Just like that.
It's like
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can just have different things that protocols that kick in.
it has your coffee ready in the
Yes,
morning.
that's the thing. I've seen those. That's
Yeah.
just wild.
Yeah. You remember, when we thought the Jetsons were
Yeah.
so far in
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
advance.
Yes.
The show,
Oh my
no,
gosh.
it does all that now,
Which
which
is
is
really,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's cool. And if you can get it, why not, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
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 That's cool. You talked a little bit earlier about bringing the outside in.
Mhm.
Anything else you see with making that more seamless, like being able to feel the outside and go back and forth between the outside? Anything else that's cool about that?
and it relates more to decor
Mhm.
rather than new build, but making it organic where when you're talking about the big glass
Sure.
coming,
Yep.
and even if you don't have that, but you can still translate with your plants and your organic materials out into what you're doing there.
Mhm.
Furniture wise, something that you're going to utilize that's easy to move about to bring in, that chair that doesn't
Sure.
weigh 400 pounds.
Yeah.
They're doing it where it's more modular and can rearrange very easily.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think we'll go back to, do you remember, when was it, the 70s maybe, where inside a home you actually had like almost like flower beds.
Mhm.
Remember they had that, and then you had the plants growing inside the house.
Well, I
kind of
think where
thing.
we talked a little bit, the atriums and
Would be part of that.
because everybody is wanting to go back to the big trend, and you hit on a little bit a minute ago on health.
Mhm.
Everybody is looking at something that's going to make them feel better,
Yeah.
less stressful,
Mhm.
Yeah.
something that they like we talked about earlier on. Can I just live from
Mhm.
here in this little bubble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we don't
Yeah.
want to do that,
Yeah.
But we
but
could.
could we?
Yeah.
Yes. From family entertainment, which again brings the outside in.
Mhm.
So much outside now is the TV,
Yeah.
the pool,
Oh yeah.
the rec area,
Yeah.
Sure.
Outdoor cooking.
yes,
Yeah.
pickleball
Yeah,
courts.
sure.
You're seeing a lot of
Yes.
that if they've got
Nice.
the big enough lot.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Pickleball
Yeah,
courts.
sure.
Functionality is a biggie.
Yeah.
Custom cabinetry. People want to go in and there's when you're doing a new build, the custom in your cabinets makes a difference
Yeah.
because the coffee bars are coming back big.
Mhm.
Not where it's set apart,
Uh-huh.
but where it's maybe on the end of the cabinet that's just
Interesting.
related.
Okay.
Cool.
So that's even more so the coffee bars
Uh-huh.
than quote the wine bars.
Then
Yeah.
Or the
yeah.
wine rooms
Yeah.
or whatever.
Coffee
Yeah.
related.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Coffee. Yeah. Coffee's a requirement.
Yeah,
Wine's a
it's a
luxury.
requirement.
Yeah.
Mine's occasional.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Coffee,
Yeah.
you gotta have
Well,
that.
the wine can be set behind
Right.
the coffee.
Right, right.
You just
You know,
move
just-
it up
we just
day
need a-
or evening.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Morning, evening.
Lazy Susan, you can just spin
Yes.
around, right?
Yes.
Okay, here's the one.
That's probably a good design
That was
trend.
great.
Just
Come on.
turn it. Hey,
Yep.
Just turn it
it's
around.
past up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Now I got to ask this for my sake. I am a big fan of multi-use space.
Mhm.
Big fan of multi-use space.
Mhm.
I love if there was a Realtor Murphy ambassador award, I would win that every
Right.
time because I love multi-use spaces. Figuring out ways that you can make an office also be a guest room
Mhm.
and also be the playroom for the kids,
Right.
and transform. Is that a thing that you see?
That is
Okay.
a thing.
Okay.
Because they want every room to really be functional.
Yes.
So if you've got, especially now, sometimes two people are working from
Yeah.
home.
Totally.
Oh, yeah.
So unless you've got a five and you have kids, 5-bedroom home, you have so
Well,
much that doesn't work.
Yeah, and you have so many folks that have these low interest rate on their
Yeah.
mortgages. They don't want to move
Right.
because they
No.
just don't want to get that higher payment, and so they've got to figure out ways to basically expand their
Mhm.
house without
Well,
adding square
Use it
footage.
differently.
Yeah,
And the Murphy beds,
Yeah.
a lot of them are doing that where you have
Yeah.
the Murphy bed. Also, you don't have the big desk. Remember in the
Uh-huh.
days
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
had the huge desk
yeah,
and it screamed office.
yeah.
There's so many pretty desks
Hmm.
that relate, and everybody works so much most often with a laptop.
Right.
Sure.
So it doesn't create a lot of
Got it.
space.
Yeah.
So you can remove your laptop
makes sense, yeah.
and you've got a functional room
Uh-huh.
as
Yeah.
a guest room.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then they're
Hmm.
doing the sofas that make out into a bed.
Yeah.
That kind of went out for a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
now where you can make that into a bed, it
Yeah.
becomes it's a sitting room and a functional TV room.
Yeah.
But if you have guests, then wow.
Instead
You're
of
good
having
to
to
go.
buy another room,
Mhm.
like your
Yeah.
floor plan. Yeah.
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 It'd be a great way to, as affordability has it's been more difficult
Mhm.
and the prices have gone up and the interest rates are up, then not having to buy as much square footage
Right.
in a home and making the home
I'm still using it. Yeah,
using it,
effective, yeah.
changing it the way you want it to. That makes a
Well,
lot of
and
sense.
an area that's really changed over the years is the dining room. Yeah,
Yes.
because
Totally.
you don't
Yes.
have
Yeah.
quote the formal dining
Yes.
room, so they're doing a lot of different light fixtures in
Yeah.
there.
Uh-huh.
They're doing a lot of talking about back to nature, but the huge, long,
Yeah.
big tables with
Yeah.
comfortable
Yep.
chairs around it.
With
Yeah.
the
Where you-
river epoxy
Yes.
in the middle of
Uh-huh.
it. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Where it can be kids
Yeah.
doing their
Uh-huh.
homework, playing with markers
Yeah.
and paint,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
So
I think just about
Mhm.
I do showings where somebody walks in, sees formal dining, and they say, "I'm out."
Yeah.
Unless they have younger kids, and
Mhm.
almost always
It's a
younger
great
kids,
playroom.
it's like, okay, I'm gonna make that a playroom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Right.
convert that into that.
yeah,
Yeah.
So it's just
or
so interesting.
convert it to an office
Yeah,
space.
sure.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
If they were kids being
Exactly,
open,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Just so interesting how that time kind of changes a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
so fascinating.
Of course, if it's an office space, then sometimes they're like, "Oh, I don't want it to be messy."
Uh-huh.
So that's where
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
create the barn doors.
Yes,
or
and
great-
wall it
yes.
up exactly. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and texture. We talked about a minute ago. The grass cloth. Remember the
Yes.
textures on the
Yeah.
wall, wallpaper.
Uh-huh.
That is back in.
Still
Now,
in? Okay.
It is. It went out for
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
but it's back in, but only in small doses.
Okay.
Again, when talking about you wanted to keep it fairly generic where you didn't have to change tons. So if you wanted to use wallpaper, maybe at an entry or an accent point or
not a whole room full of paisleys.
yes, right.
Yeah.
Unless it's a bathroom,
Yeah.
you know, the little bathroom.
Then you
but
might
yeah,
go,
then you could get by with that. But textures on the wall are, you know, and a lot of times they're using, going back to using the wood and then a texture of the grass cloth. Mirrors are very popular now.
Yes.
So you're going to
standing
see
mirrors.
a lot of
Standing mirrors.
standing lights.
Yes.
You know, floor lamps.
Yeah.
Beautiful fans, ceiling fans. I don't know if you've looked at
No.
the ceiling fans are now, so many of them are piece of art.
Really?
I just did one in a home that was a chandelier.
Okay.
But a ceiling fan.
Ceiling fan.
Yeah.
It's
So
Whoa.
yeah, ceiling fans are really works of art.
That's
It's
that's
almost,
well.
it's not minimalist anymore. It's almost just functionality.
Yes,
right? I guess
it's
that's
more of the
term.
functionality.
That would be the term.
Yes, and when you call it, and I always have a hard time saying this, maximalist.
Max.
Okay, yeah. So when you call
Yes.
it that,
I love that.
it's used.
Give me a
as
T-shirt with
right,
that.
I
Come on.
maximalist.
That's great.
But
What
it's
does that
it's
mean?
in
What
decor.
does that mean?
Maximalist is more of more decor. You know, from like we were talking about the lighting, the accent pieces on the wall, the metals, the where you've got more, but it goes in strategic places.
Okay.
Strategically
Doing the most with like the least. Yeah.
Okay.
Not it's not where you have a shelving unit and you have 86 things on that one shelf.
Okay.
You know, you want to go with that one piece that maybe makes a difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's more meaningful, probably too, which is what I love
It's-
about it.
yeah, it
It's
would
it's
be.
going to be more intentional in that way because you have to be.
And your,
Well,
eye,
and
your
then-
eye would go to it. And
Yeah. I mean, that's what, because so many times you have that grandma's piece or something that you love.
Yes, that means so much.
That means so
speaks
much.
to your
So,
family. Yeah.
So you want to accent that. I had a client that we're talking about redoing a bedroom.
Yeah.
And she had her grandmother's, the old Singer sewing machine.
Sure. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm really tired of that, but it was my mother's. Well, we're just going to redesign that a little bit and use that as an end table.
Cool.
There you go.
You
Love
know,
that.
a nightstand
Love that.
type
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
So so you can integrate a lot of different things like that.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So that's what I call maximalist.
I love that.
Yeah. Instead
Big
of being
fan.
the minimal and
Yes.
not having anything.
Right,
like
fan.
that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. More like that.
Yeah. Big fan of that.
That's very cool. So, you got any special advice that you'd give homeowners for trying to just really integrate something trendy into their home? What would be safe?
I would, I think what is one of the things, color makes such a huge difference. So I would start with something where you added color, whether it be a wall, whether it be a big art piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Whether it would be a geometric design done with paint. I mean, we've talked about stripes or different things.
Yep.
And different. So I think that's an easy way to incorporate something that might be trendy, but doesn't have to be. It's easy to get rid of.
Sure.
You know,
It doesn't have to be the whole room.
I would order to. I have this. This is my challenge when I want to design something.
Your challenge.
I have lots of challenges. Hold on, watch it.
I wouldn't know, but
when it comes to
someone might
this,
does.
I get like fixated on a room, right? So I'm gonna look at a room and I'm like, this room has to maximalist. I've got to use this room better.
Right.
I've got to do this. And why not just go ahead and make a design of it while I'm doing it? So it kind of becomes a whole complete thing. But then I've done this room, and now it's like, well, dang, I gotta go do that room. I gotta go do that room. What's the strategy for for the average homeowner like myself? If I'm gonna go approach a room, should I take into account the whole house when I do that room, or should I just go after that room and slowly kind of let that come out if I have the money to do so?
that's it's kind of twofold.
Okay.
So you're correct in maybe focusing on changing that room.
Yeah.
You don't want to change that room so dramatically unless you're going to do that
everywhere.
in the whole house. But you can also change pieces within your house. I mean,
Sure.
Jean knows one of the things I love to do
Yeah.
is take what you have
Cool.
and incorporate it to make it different.
Cool.
So change that room,
Yeah.
do it like you pretty much want to do it, and incorporate pieces until you can change the whole look in your house.
Got
Just gently weave it.
Yeah.
Gently weave
Around
it
the
in.
house.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you could tell us many, many more things that people could do to their houses. What do you want to kind of leave everybody with as far as what could they do that would really make a difference in their home as they're building a new construction property? Any great unusual
I
advice?
think, what I kind of said in the beginning, personalization.
Yeah.
Because
Make
a
it
designer
yours.
can go in and say, oh, okay, great, we're going to do this, this, and this.
Yes.
If they're not feeling that, that's a wrong move.
Mhm.
So first of all, it needs to be something that they love. And I think one of the keys in just starting out is keeping your palette fairly neutral.
Okay.
Okay.
And incorporating it with, instead of, the house is going to have that footprint already.
Right.
Whether
Right.
it's a new build or
Right.
whatever, you've got
Right.
the footprint, and maybe you don't have the money to change everything, but start with your pieces, from your pillows
Yeah.
to your throws
Yeah.
to your lighting. I mean, things that you can change
Cool.
very easily.
I think when people are building a new house, they struggle with, they're trying to stay in a budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, do I get more bang for my buck if I upgrade this light fixture in the kitchen, or do I want to spend that money on the special plumbing fixtures in the master bath?
Yeah.
It's those kinds of like push pull.
And that's kind of where it goes to personal. I mean, you're finding now people are spending a huge, I mean, they cost a huge amount anyway, appliances.
Yeah, sure.
But people are going above and beyond on appliances.
Yeah.
I mean, they're spending a lot of money on that oven. Or
the oven for sure. Oh my gosh. The 6-burner, 8-burner.
Yes. The refrigerator. I mean, all of that. So to some people that are cooks, that's a major place to spend the money. And then they're going to scrimp. It's probably not the right word.
Sure.
But we use that in that, okay, I'm going to go a little less on the light fixture. Most of the time, people, unless you work in that industry, they don't know whether your light fixture was $8,000 or $180.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is
Depending
it
on where
personal
you're
to
putting it.
you, and is it something that you really love?
Yeah.
Yep.
Would be the thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you want. And I think when you start out, that's really what you need to decide. What do you want to spend your money on?
Yeah.
And what is important to your family?
Yeah,
'Cause you
sure.
take that all into consideration.
Yeah, that's a fabulous question, especially as couples are building a home to see if you line up with each other's important things.
Yeah.
I want to spend my money on faucets or spend my money on lights or whatever. Yeah.
And that's what, when I go in first, that's one of the first questions I ask. What are some of the things you love? What are the things that you want done first? And then we fan out from there.
Cool.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Cool.
So,
Makes sense. Well, my dear, we're at the bottom of our
that went
our
fast.
time.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
See, that wasn't bad.
I love it.
Anything that you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Other than if you're struggling with, kind of your decor, don't have a lot of money that you want to spend. Sometimes, I do color consults, decor consults, which are not a lot of money. And sometimes you just need that extra little bit to put it into place.
Okay.
And it's a good little bit of education.
Cool.
Then you can take the ball and run with it. It doesn't always have to be that big project. And I think that's one of the things, because sometimes the word interior designer means I've got to do everything and I've got to spend a lot of money.
Thousands of dollars.
But you can start small and just do it with a consult.
Yeah, that's great. Great. Especially color consults.
Yes.
Cool. People have a
Makes
hard
a
time with
difference.
color.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes, I do.
So if people want to get in touch with you to set up a consultation for a new construction home or a consult for color, what should they do?
Lifestyles by Jan. You can email me at yahoo.com. So lifestyles by Jan at yahoo.com. My cell number, 817-320-4852. So give me a call. I'd love to answer any questions, help you with anything. Can be large or small.
Cool.
So
Easy.
Cool.
yeah.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here
Thank
today.
you
Yeah,
both. It was
absolutely.
fun.
Thank you for being here today. I
It was
appreciate it.
fun.
Yep. All right, y'all.
Wrap us up.
with the
This
love.
is your forte.
I love it. That's so funny. Thank y'all again for joining us for Welcome Home Fort Worth. We just, again, so much appreciate your viewership and hope that this has been helpful for y'all. It certainly is for me. this is such a spot where I know it, I'm aware of it, but actually implementing it is so difficult. So I really appreciate this conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time
enjoyed
today.
every minute.
Yeah, it's been good to have you today.
guys.
So thank you all for watching. Tune in next week, and we'll see you again.
See you soon.
Hey, thank you so much for watching the podcast today. If this has been valuable for you at all, we sure could use your help getting the word out to more people. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give us a follow and consider taking just maybe 2 minutes to leave us a review. Both do wonders for our show with the algorithm, and on both platforms, all you gotta do, head over to our show page. On Spotify, hit 3 dots and select rate. And on Apple, all you gotta do is just scroll down to the show and say leave a review. So just click that. If you're seeing this on Facebook or Instagram, a like or comment puts all the good vibes out in the algorithm for us. And on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new episode. Join us again next week for more Fort Worth housing news and updates. Until then, y'all have a great week.